Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. Nike, Nike stock got beaten up yesterday on the back of earnings. It is actually below a current gap fill in the charts. Price action did get a bounce on that in the pre-market and is continuing to flush a little bit more. I have some key technical levels for that. KBH actually dropped on earnings as well. I have a key support level for a long level as well. Tesla, we're still monitoring. If it gets above $500 even number, I still like that as an entry price. Now, if price on Tesla decides it wants to continue lower, we have a key gap fill in the charts to go long on that one. So a couple different opportunities in the charts that we're going to go ahead and take a look at. The first one is the SMH, though. This is a stock that we've been monitoring for quite some time. This thing has been giving us some good support and or resistance levels. The charts have been identifying key support and resistance levels that we've been able to take advantage of. If the SMH decides it wants to head higher, I love this short level right here at the beginning of this wide range red bar candle at $366.99, knowing that there's a gap in the charts just above it at $370.87, which is a place that you could add to the position on the SMH. If price does decide to want to drop a little bit lower, my first long level is $329.24. The original gap in the charts was right here around 340.01. However, because it's already filled that gap, got a nice bounce, I'm looking for this gap in the charts that it was created. So this would be my long level on SMH. Another thing I'm noticing on this chart is you got this low pivot from the 30th of May. Look at how price consolidated right on this trend line. Price did break below, never confirmed, got back above, retested it, came back down, retested again. So this would be a multiple hit on this upswing trend line for a swing trade. I would be looking for a break of this trend line for a short. But for now, if this trend line continues to hold up, this should be a good long level. I'm not looking to go long at 339.24 for a swing trade. I would actually be more favoring a move to the downside if this upswing trend line breaks, which is why this would be a day trade for me. Oracle was another stock that we were looking at. I still like this $176.38 level if price decides it wants to fall in there. Because there was a big gap down in the charts from this high pivot at $198.79. If price wants to continue up and fill this gap, this is your first aggressive short level. This is what I'd be eyeing today for a potential day trade, looking for about a $3 pullback from this level, $2 to $3, depending on how price action gets up there. If price action shoots right up there, we should get a pretty substantial pullback. So you can look for more of a $3 pullback. If price just kind of meanders up there by 11 o'clock, then you're looking for a little bit less of a pullback with a little bit of consolidation. Now, if price does break below this $176.38 level, which is an aggressive level, in the charts, I have $171.14. This is a key gap in the charts, and this is where I'd start accumulating Oracle for more of a larger swing trade position based on the fact that this thing has been beaten up here from the all-time highs at $345. This is a 50% drop into this gap, and I think this could be a really good long level. AVGO, we were mentioning, had a couple different levels in the charts as well as this upswing trend line. Let's go ahead and zoom into the AVGO chart to show you what I'm looking at. For me, I was mentioning $324.63 as a long level yesterday. I ended up picking this up a little bit before that because of the gap in the charts at $326. So I did enter there. It did flush this gap fill, and then we took some profits on this trade. But this level was a gap in the charts. Because it got below it and then recaptured the gap fill, which this is one of the reasons that I still liked this previous gap at $324.63. And this is proving to be the line in the sand that as long as the price can stay above, we're coming back up to $346.61 as a first level of resistance, which would be my shortable level today, knowing that I've got this upswing resistance trend line that I showed you in the charts around $354.69 for an additional add to that position for another short. All right, let's go ahead and go into the charts of Nike. Like I mentioned, Nike did beat earnings for the EPS estimates. However, the overall earnings for the year over year were down, which is why the price action of Nike ended up falling. Let me go ahead and go into the charts of Nike and show you what I'm seeing as far as support goes. The first gap I was mentioning in the charts was right here. It's actually trading right there now at $58.37. As you can see, price is getting a little bit of support off of that level. If it flushes at the open, your first level of support is going to be 57.04, and this is the first level I would go long. The second level of support is going to be right here at $55.40. One thing I like about this is there's a previous gap in the charts right here. Plus, you got all of this price consolidation, meaning that there were a lot of buyers at this price at $55.40 over an extended period of time, because Nike decided they wanted to gap up hugely and then come back into these levels. These people had probably already taken profits and then waiting for a retrace, and they're looking to get back in at or around the same price that they were to take this up as well for another move. If on the downside, it continues through this 55.40, your next long level is the lower end of all these pivots at $52.33. Overall, Nike does look like a good day trade. And so this is something I'm looking forward to as far as a continued move to the downside. So that way we can take this as a long play. KBH was another stock that was getting beaten up. Your first level of support is going to be right here at $57.87. As you can see in the pre-market, it's trading at $58.05. So just a little bit lower would be your first aggressive level for KBH. However, for me, I'm looking at $55.28. What I really like about this level is if you zoom out on the charts, you got this previous pivot high, and this will be a major pivot in the charts. As you can see, price got rejected off of this level, got a really big pullback, and then all of a sudden it got above it, chopped through it several different times before an additional move to the upside. And now when price action does get into this level at $55.28, there will be a lot of buyers in place, as well as this gap in the charts for KBH. This is more of a day trade and not a swing trade. The other thing I like about the $57.87 as an aggressive level, if you go ahead and zoom out in the charts a little bit more, you've got this price consolidation right here. And look at this. I'm going to connect these pivot lows all the way through these pivot high or these pivot lows. So if price does get down to this $57.87, that's your first support. However, your long, your really less aggressive level is $55.28. That'll basically be a retrace of this upsloping trend line in addition to the gap fill and this pivot top. You could get a pretty sizable bounce on the chart of KBH. MU is another stock that we've been looking at. Did have earnings the other day. I had mentioned that I was looking at my first shortable level is 258.33, but that was an aggressive level, so we didn't take it. The second level was $263.81. It got really close to that level and then got a pretty substantial pullback. On a technical basis, if it gets back up to this $263.81 level, because it had such a significant pullback, there should be additional resistance. Again, this would be more of an aggressive level. I would be actually looking for a pierce of 265, and then I'm definitely shorting MU as long as it's there by 10:30, 10:45 this morning on this chart. Tesla is another stock that we've been monitoring as well. The long level for Tesla, it looks like it's getting a little bit of a bounce this morning. However, if it decides it wants to flush into this level at $458.96, this is my first long level for Tesla. If it wants to get back to this around this $500.58 level, this could be an aggressive level. But for me, I know that the price action can head up to this upsloping trend line, the upper end of this parallel channel. So 525.07 is the level today that I would play it. For those of you who are more aggressive, a pierce of $500 would be that aggressive level based on the fact that it's a whole round number and it's a pretty extended move from the lows right here, just from the 19th of November. That's a 20 or 30% move to the upside on a stock like Tesla. That's an incredible move up. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. Hopefully some of these charts play out like it did yesterday. We can take advantage of some of these plays that I have lined up for you. If you guys are getting something out of this, please make sure you're liking, following, subscribing, sharing with your friends, so that way they can get this information in the morning before the market opens. And please stay tuned. Gareth Soloway is going to be going live in less than 5 minutes, talking about what his projections are going forward for a couple different stocks. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day and take care.